We've arrived in Amsterdam and we've found the most perfect campsite to visit Amsterdam. We are actually camping in a forest.
We are, but to get to Amsterdam, we have to first cross the river over. So we're going to take you on that journey over the river, on the ferry, into Amsterdam, and then afterwards we'll show you this lovely retreat.
Yeah, we arrived in Amsterdam yesterday afternoon. We went for a little wander to see what our surroundings are like, and then on the evening we actually went into Amsterdam and we went to an Indian, but the Indian was miles away, right down at the bottom.
It was basically the other side.
Yeah, but it's really nice and very authentic, wasn't it?
Yes, and it gave us a chance to walk through.
I will put the name of the Indian in the description as well, so that if you're wanting to check out a decent Indian, if you are here, and that's something that you're into, you can find one quite easily then. We were going to take the bikes, but after we went in yesterday for that walk, it is crazy. The cycling culture that the Dutch have is really good and we love it. But if we don't know where we're going, plus we want to film, it's going to be quite difficult taking the bikes.
It's quite fast-paced, isn't it?
But we will show you in this video. So you get quite a bit of space on the deluxe ones. And I believe that's all along here. But so we will show you more of the campsite when we come back later.
Yes.
But as you can see, they're all like fully serviced on here.
Yeah, so we've gone for the fully serviced here. One, because I wanted a bit more space. The others are a little bit tighter on the basic. But they seem to be thin but long. So ideal for us, though.
And you reserved this one, didn't you, as well?
I did, yes.
Yeah. But so we'll tell you more about this when we come back and we show you around the campsite. We nearly made out the campsite, but yet again, Lee has forgotten something. He's had to go back to the van. Yeah, I think he forgot the rubbish bag. So as you leave the campsite, you can see a map. And where are we, Lee, roughly?
We are here, but we are heading down to one of these ferries. You've got a few ferries that cross the river, but we're heading to the one on this side.
So the campsite is literally just there, and this is the forest area. We will put the name of this forest, and as the campsite is named after the forest as well, so it's actually in the forest. So the name of it we'll put on the screen now, and I've looked into it and I believe it's pronounced something like Vliegembos. The forest is in quite a local area. They're just north of the river going into the main city. But if you do want to take your bike in, it is pretty simple. There is like one red cycle track basically all the way down to the ferry, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, so when you come into the campsite, don't be deceived. You can see the motorhome going over that path there to get onto the main road. So you do have to cross this path and come round basically onto this road to get to the campsite. So there's a couple of small signs saying campsite, but you might miss them.
We actually got an Uber back last night because we'd walked so far down to the Indian, and even he wasn't sure how to get into the campsite. We had a little look into it this morning, didn't you, about Amsterdam and kind of how safe it is?
Yeah, so they reckon it's the second, I mean, this was Forbes stats and there was some other stats as well, but the second most safest city in Europe, apparently. And what I didn't know, within the world as well, The Hague, that's up there. But it's within the top 10, Amsterdam.
In the globally,
yeah. So as it stands on the stats, apparently it's the safest, one of the safest cities.
And even though saying that, we have been told to just make sure we watch out for pickpocketers and things like that. But any city, you're going to have that kind of thing going on, aren't you?
Looking into it, I don't think there's very much violence. However, there can be, obviously. But I think that's very minimal. I think it's just petty crime, petty theft, pickpockets, mainly in the built-up areas, just like any other city, really.
When we went in last night, we felt quite safe, didn't we?
We did, yes.
Yeah, very pretty.
No problem at all. Walk straight through and see all the area. So not only do they ride mopeds on the bike tracks or bike roads, they also have these little cars. There are quite a few of them, to be honest.
We've actually seen them on the ferry, haven't we?
Yeah.
Ferry.
It's quite a funny thing to see.
On the foot ferry, yeah.
Obviously, because it's different for us. If you're from the area, then it's quite normal.
Yeah, when we was on the ferry yesterday, I think we were the only people actually walking. Everyone else was on bikes.
Yeah. Funny thing is we went into reception and asked if the ferry would take bikes.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do.
No wonder she
Yeah.
looked at me a bit strange, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm glad we didn't at that moment because, you know, I'm not used to cycling anyway, and it's very hectic getting on and off the ferry.
So this is the river that we are on the north side of. Just over there is the main city. We've just missed one ferry. Oh, it looks like they might have two on today. There's one over the other side, unless it's going to a different location.
Yeah, so with these ferries, they are free to get across, and there's a few dotted around. They go to different areas, but we're going to Central, I believe.
Central Station, it might be.
Central Station, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Also, it's got a timer on there, so you sort of know roughly when the next one's ready to get on and board, and you're going to start moving again across. They are very efficient. They just dock in. It's quite quiet today, actually. Yesterday, we must have been on a rush hour time because that was packed. If it is busy, just go to the side because the bikes like to just go and they don't stop.
There you go, there's one.
Oh, there's one of the little cars.
Mobility ones then.
Yeah, so that must be a mobility disabled type.
We have seen some a little bit bigger, haven't we, that don't look like mobility
We
ones.
have. So I think they're micro cars. It's all right, I've got to keep my wits about me now with all the bikes coming across. Just make sure they either go round us and we don't go into them. We are quite early actually, so I think we're on about 10:30. But to get to the ferry from the campsite takes around 20 to 25 minutes. It's only just over a mile. So Amsterdam itself is actually crisscrossed by loads of different canals. This is actually another big one. So we know there's loads to Amsterdam.
Loads to see, loads to do.
see. And we're not going to see everything. What we're doing really is just taking in the atmosphere of what Amsterdam brings.
One thing I would like to do is do like a river cruise or something.
Yeah, I think that's going to be our highlight.
Watch out for these bikes.
As you can see, there's loads of different bikes parked up here. And if you do park your bike, it's quite possible to get it lost within amongst them all. Within the bike park, then we're welcomed by this statue here. Well, that building is actually called the D-Wag. It's 15th century medieval gatehouse, and it used to be part of the city walls. These days, it sits right in Newmarket Square and is one of the oldest buildings in Amsterdam. Well, as you can see, there's a bit of a market going on there. Oh, I'm on the bike path. I keep making that mistake. I keep ending up on the bike path. It'd be to my peril. You right there, Skippy? Sounds like big bells going off up there. Because there is so many canals, you do come across quite a few bridges. And one of them here, it's only a small bridge, but it looks very old. This metal bridge here, you can see the mechanisms on it. So that's a classic Amsterdam drawbridge, metal frame top with a counterbalance to basically lift the bridge up to let boats through. You can see a bit more of how it would work here. Teeth on this would just obviously lock into the frame within the bridge there. Probably done by hand from here. Hopefully we can pick up a boat tour from around this area. Looking at it, should be able to. That's a stunning building actually. So we've been experiencing a few cities now within the Netherlands. Amsterdam itself is completely different to Rotterdam.
Yeah, but Delft looks like a small version of Amsterdam.
Yes, I
believe,
think Amsterdam's got a little bit more quirkiness to it. I think that's just the variety of stuff going on, I think.
Well, it's one of the main tourist attractions.
Yeah.
Like people keep saying, so it's getting a lot of comments as well from our last video, our first video when we come out here, should I say, from people that live here saying that people come to Amsterdam and think they've visited the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So this is like the main place really that people
And we
come.
actually can see why you've said that, because we've visited a few places before getting to Amsterdam. And yeah, everywhere is completely different, all unique and nice in their own way.
Yeah, we're loving it, aren't we?
We are loving
We're loving
it.
the journey.
Yeah. That's what I was pointing out earlier. That's a 1 hour guided boat tour. So each adult, so it's €15.50. That's Jodie happy then, because that is what we're going to do. We are going to go on a boat trip later on today. They go every 45 minutes. And they go around the different sites on the canal. So we're going to look at that and enjoy that.
I want one with the drinks packaging, so if we go later, it's a bit early to be doing that now, so we need to go later.
Yeah, I think you want the party boat. It's got some big clocks on that and some bells. Just look how beautiful that is. You can see this area being quite buzzing in the evening. Well, this looks like someone who had a bit of importance. Put it in the comments if you know who it is. Again, you've got all these bars and restaurants along here. So there's so much to take in, but what we've seen and noticed is very well controlled here in Amsterdam. So if you're drinking in certain areas in public, that could be €100 fine.
Not on these boats, though.
Not on these boats. The boats are fine. I reckon that's classed as non-public. I wonder where they're off.
Down there, I think.
Where I'm standing right here, if I turn you this way, maybe that's Seven Bridges view, and you can see Seven Bridges going all the way up that way. Well, we found a nice little spot here, overlooking this square. Now, apparently this is the square that gets all the street performers and stuff like that. We're probably a little bit early for things like that, but people are still out enjoying themselves, having a drink.
It was going to be good, and I was going to have a coffee. But we went and had something to eat earlier on, but it was really busy, so we didn't get a chance to film it. So I thought I'll just have a coffee. And then Lee orders a beer, and I go, small wine, please.
Yeah, I'm having a large something blonde. I think it's a local or from the Netherlands. Look at the shape of that glass. That's what I've gone with, if you can see the name of it.
Let's tell me what you think.
Shall we? It's nice, but it tastes strong.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. In my t-shirt now. Well, that was a lovely drink in that bar. Nice and sunny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Chilling out, just taking in the atmosphere. And that's what our trip to Amsterdam's about, really, is taking in the atmosphere. But we are going to go and head for the boat cruises now and see if we can get on one of the cruises.
You've got a ticket?
Ooh, has that got 2 on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
So you were worried that I'd got a ticket for you.
Yeah, I thought you had only got 1 for yourself.
Yeah, I was going to put you on it and disappear. No, it's a ticket for 2. It's 31. Is it 31?
31 euros.
31 euros.
Yeah, so £26.
But thereabouts, yeah.
So it ain't too bad.
Yeah.
And we get a nice tour of the area via the canal. Hello.
Hi.
Hiya.
Good, sun is shining, we're happy.
Oh, it's
Nice.
lovely. Thank you.
Hello.
Oh, we're going in. Oh, I think you can just pick a seat anywhere. We're on. And I've just put my coat back on. That is definitely coming off.
Lee's sat opposite me.
Get ready for the off, but we picked a really good position because we can both look out the window.
Yeah, but you're going backwards.
I don't mind. How do you know? Might be reverse all the way around. Do you think if you lived here, would you own a boat to get around? I probably would.
You would, yeah.
Do you need a skipper's licence or anything? You have to put it in the comments
We
if
have
you
to have
do.
some kind of licence, maybe to go on the canals.
Maybe. Well, you'll probably have to pay for moorings and stuff like that. Hey, we're motoring along quite fast, actually.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within, calling this heavy load got under your skin.
And these houseboats, they're actually worth, we just see one that just recently sold for £1.4 million. And that was a 1-bedroom houseboat, so it's one of the most expensive places to have a houseboat.
Heading for a collision and deny to really live you gotta die.
Apparently, this is the most photographed spot in Amsterdam. As you can see, all the bridges that go down there.
Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors.
they're actually removing bicycles. Now, apparently up to 15,000 bicycles get thrown in the canal each year.
Moments pass, make this one count. Untie. You're so good at dragging yourself down. Why? Well, there ain't much time left to figure things out. Deep underneath all the laser, your doubts. There's a heart gone out of rhythm in despair. Hell underwater, fine for air. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive.
If you look at that house right in front of us with the Heineken sign on, that is a single property. One door, window, and then a window. That's the smallest house along this stretch. That's a nice church. Basilica of St Nicholas, that is. There's Silly Jake there, because that clock was off for a considerable amount of time, so they called it, or nicknamed it Silly Jake. Oh, we've found one. Look, just past this one where it passes, there is a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour.
Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colours, colours, colours around.
And look how they do the bins here. They put them onto a barge, look. No bin trucks needed out here, just the barge. So she was telling us one story actually about why there's so many bicycles. To park in Amsterdam, you're probably looking at around €8.50 for an hour, and parking actually is quite limited. If you do own a property, you could be sharing 4-rise building with each having a floor, but you only get the one parking space. Again, you try and get that parking space, it's very difficult. So the fastest and easiest way for everyone to get around, and the cheapest way, is by bike. That is why there is thousands of people that use and commute on bikes every day. You may also notice, but it might not pick it up on camera, that a lot of the buildings are tilted. They're built on a lean. Now, not only one reason was so water don't get stuck in the rafters, it was actually so they can hoist things up. So if we look at these up here, furniture, basically you would not be able to get the old type furniture up the stairs. Now IKEA stuff you probably could, because it comes flat packed, so they hoist it up into the apartments or into your house back then. And it was easier to hoist it up if the building was actually built on a lean. What was the other thing we learned about the pepper?
Yeah, I don't know what year it was, but years ago, pepper was known to be more expensive than gold.
In this area?
Yeah, in this area, yeah.
So yeah, if you had a good amount of pepper on you, then you could trade that and you'd be all right, wouldn't you? You're rich.
And because there's no mountains, obviously, in the Netherlands, if they had a stone house, because stone isn't in the Netherlands as such.
There's no mountains, so...
There's no mountains. So if you owned a stone house, then you was known as being very rich. She must
Yes,
have had
rich as stone.
Rich as stone, apparently that's one of their sayings. So I went past the market, and the lady who was the skipper on the boat, she said that if you've had your bike stolen, it's more than likely going to turn up at the market. And then she said, recycling at its best.
Yeah, that's the flea market, which I think is named Waterloo Market. We are at... We're just outside the Madame Tussauds, which is just literally behind me here. So they have got a Madame Tussauds here in Amsterdam. And we are at the palace. So this, I believe, is called Dam Square.
This is the Royal Palace of Amsterdam. It was originally built as a city hall in the 1600s during the Dutch Golden Age, then later turned into a royal palace. The dome at the top was used as a lookout point for the ships coming into the harbour. The golden statues, they represent power and prosperity. The building is still used today by the Dutch royal family for official events.
We made it to the Royal Palace. Now you want to get your cheese.
Yeah, but look at that statue over there. I'm going to go and see that.
I've seen it. Let's go and see that. And apparently that's where your cheese is anyway, over that way.
Oh, but we're going up there somewhere.
Okay, get a better view of the square here. Madame Tussauds in the corner there, the palace, Royal Palace.
This is a World War II memorial. It was built in 1956 to honour Dutch victims of World War II. The statues at the base represent suffering, resistance and peace. Every year on May the 4th, this is where the country holds its National Remembrance Ceremony. It's also kind of become a social spot now. People sitting on the steps, meeting up, relaxing.
Even got a walkway going through there. Unfortunately, we're
Shopping
going to miss this time, but it looks like a lot of shopping centres. You've got Primark, TK Maxx and stuff like that. Even a casino along this stretch here. I think that ball's got something to say to that car. I wouldn't like to get in the way of it. Look at that chimney. I think it's the House of Noah or something, this building here. Massive chimney. All for cheese. Are you just taking me down some right dodgy streets? Down all the back alleys?
It only looks like that because it's got loads of scaffolding in it. It probably wouldn't look like that otherwise.
Oh, kebab shop though. What are they?
Donut things or something.
Oh, donut shop and stuff like that. Well, these streets are all like quirky streets now.
It's meant to be up here.
Yeah. Is this the party area? I do not know, but you've got a steakhouse there, bar, hotel, juicy burgers. You've got every single type of restaurant you can think of down here.
Yeah, but
That's pretty good.
My cheese shop wasn't there. It looks like it's not there anymore.
Oh, look, that building's on the wonk down there. They're all on the wonk. Left, right. Oh, if you go through the middle here, you can actually see how much that's leaning forward down the alleyway there.
I need to find a cheese shop.
Just like that, we are back at the free ferry with one pulling in right now for us to get on. Happy with that. Well, here we are. We have made it back at the van now, so we're back on the campsite. Sun is shining and it's absolutely lovely. Now I'll show you the pitch we're on. So that's our pitch, so it's a nice, decent size. However, the price of these, we did pay 63 euros per night. So it's basically 126 euros for 2 nights stay. 10 euros of that was booking the pitch and actually confirming that, because I looked on Google Maps and Google Earth, and from the top view, I planned the best pitch I wanted, really. They have got a ablution box. They've got a couple dotted around. These are getting all refurbished if you come right now, but they are soon to be done. In the interim, they have got a joint male-female toilets there, and they have got showers for females and showers for males separate over there. Now the campsite does go further back. Further back, it's got tents, and you have got type of lodges on here. As you can see there, through them trees, you've got that sort of thing as well. But if you're on the basic pitches, you're looking at something like this. So this is a pitch here, pitch next door, but they are a bit tighter than we wanted. That's why I thought we'd just opt for a bit of luxury on this time and have the deluxe pitch. Now, they're not much cheaper anyway, the basic pitches. So it has got a drive over waste, and I'm going to just take you to show you the service point now. Just to point out on our pitch as well, before I forget to say, it is fully serviced. We have got water, we have got drainage. However, no one can get away from doing their Elson. The Elson point is just right near the entrance. So the entrance is here. And if you come through the entrance, if you're pre-booked, it's already got your number plate. The barriers will just go up. And reception is just through there. Again, the restaurant bar area, they are doing up at the moment, so it's not quite open properly. Front entrance is through there, as you see us leave this morning. One thing I didn't realise about Amsterdam as well is it has got a clean air zone. Now, there's 2 campsites within the clean air zone. This is one of them. If you are a Euro 5 under, so a Euro 4 on the emissions, then you will have to get an exemption, which costs €12.50. It's off the actual official government site. There is a link on the campsite website to do that. You have to get a registration code from the campsite, and you're allowed to enter the campsite and then exit, and you put the days in there. If you're a Euro 5, you've got till 2027. Now we're Euro 6, so we've got till 2028. So bear that in mind if you come to this campsite. It is within the clean air zone. Now, you've got 2 drive over wastes here, Elson point and a water fill up point there. That's pretty much it, but it is a little bit of paradise just on the, well, outskirts, a bit more in the urban area of the hustle and bustle of Amsterdam. So if you want a bit more of a retreat and then pop in and out as you wish, 20 minutes to the ferry and then off you go.
So we are back in the van, ready to chill out now. My feet are hurting me a little bit. I did a bit of walking this morning for my other channel, which is in the description if you do want to check that out. and then we walked a mile or so down, a mile or so back, and all that walking around.
Yes, I think I've hit well over 20,000 miles walking today.
20,000 miles?
20,000 steps. Yeah, if each step was a mile, that'd be a lot, wouldn't it? But yeah, 20,000 steps. See, that's how tired I am. But it was excellent to see the sights of Amsterdam, and we probably didn't see everything because
we've seen a lot in the time.
We didn't see things like the Science Museum and stuff like that. But there's so much there to see and visit. Another reason why I think this campsite's an ideal campsite for visiting. But yeah, we've absolutely loved Amsterdam. We couldn't come to the Netherlands and not do Amsterdam.
No, or do a boot. I'm at it now. A boat cruise.
Yeah, or do a boat cruise. So you enjoyed that, didn't you? Really enjoyed that. I did as well. It got a bit like a greenhouse in there because it got pretty warm with the sun, but with the windows open, we got a nice breeze. So it was lovely to see the sights from the canal itself.
But they are all weather boats by the look of it. So
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, that's it on this one. So we are off to Horn next, and hopefully I say that right, but we're off to Horn.
If not, we'll correct it in the next
video. So HOORN. It's going to be on a marina. I don't know what it's going to bring yet, but if it's going to be as busy as this, then we will be absolutely knackered by the end of the trip. So hopefully it's a bit more of a relaxing one for us.
Yeah, we're trying to do 2 night stops everywhere we go.
Yeah.
The first one was just an admin stop, so that was a 1 night, but since then we've been doing 2 night stops.
Yeah.
So just to take it all in a little bit better.
Exactly.
Anyway, we'll catch you there then, won't we?
We will. So
video.
we will. So we'd like to say thanks again to everyone that supports the channel, has subscribed, and we will catch you on the next one. So until then, bye.
See ya.